So we both found like our holy grail items and fun things we collect in this booth. So we are doing a happy dance, even though it is miserably hot, and we are sucking down lemonade to stay cool. Alright, so this is our first stop of the day, and there is some good stuff here. Lots of ephemera. Look at this book, How to Select the Laying Hen. Now that's hysterical. And then all of these wonderful old directories down here are just fantastic. Ariana already found a really amazing book with some fairies in it. And I've got a stamp carousel. Of course, I had to pick that up. But today's kind of fun because we all have a little challenge going on. So Pam, Ariana, myself, and Patty are all challenging each other to find the coolest and most unique piece of ephemera. And whoever wins that challenge, the others have to buy them dinner. So we are on the hunt for some killer cool ephemera. We're going to let people in our little group vote, and then probably some of you guys on YouTube through a live. So I am digging through all of this, and I might have found something pretty cool. It is a directory with some amazing advertisements in it, but I'm going to keep looking and see what else I can find because I am out to win. Now, this is pretty cool. I love my advertising displays, and this is an amazing piece from the National Pressure Cookers, Presto Cookers, and look at how that opens and all the little compartments inside. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And then they've got a whole display board here for Mayfield ice cream. Man, I believe these two pieces are original, and they are really cool. And of course, look guys, hats. Can't go anywhere without some really cool hats. And I want to show you these because look at this enormous Valentine's. Isn't that fantastic? And then all of this stuff over here is wonderful. Look at that Carter's Ink ad. Oh, that's so cool. Saturday Evening Post. Those always have some fabulous Coca-Cola ads. And look at this, a Coca-Cola bottle drip protector. I might have to get that for my collection. These are all really neat. Okay guys, now I wouldn't be vintage or vinyl if I weren't showing you some typewriter ribbon tins. And I do not have this one. I've never seen it before. Look at the graphics of the United States on it. The little rope going around the outside. This is going right into my collection, and this is really cool. It's a square tin. They've got this beautiful Rothschild tin, as well as the famous Herald Square. And look at this little guy, isn't he cute? He's only $6, so he may have to come home, although he does have a little paint there to his face. But isn't he precious? He's a little squirrel dresser caddy, redware. I mean, come on, isn't he just darling? He might need to make it into our buggy. And then look at this, Texaco playing cards. Very psychedelic and fun. And an old scale, you know how much I love these. Just a lot of cool stuff out here in this booth. I think we're both having a fun day finding lots of neat things. All these old patterns and new treasures just hidden around to be discovered and found. And I'm so excited about this first stop of the day. Well guys, we have made it to Signal Mountain. Now this is supposed to be where a lot of the good antiques and vintage are. And look at this. Now this is just a small sampling and the kinds of things you'll see on the 127 route. This is just filled with tents, and who knows what's inside. Sometimes you can kind of tell from the road if you want to stop, and other times you can't. It's just sort of a gamble, but it's all part of the fun of the major treasure hunt here on the 127 route. You can see how busy it is today. A lot of cars, a lot of people getting lined up for this sale because it has officially started here. We went a little early on the route. Vendors tend to set up about a week in advance, which is great because you can get all the good deals and go early and kind of escape the crowds. But things are getting just a little busier here. And I'm going to go inside me, Ariana, and see if we can find any cool stuff. There is just so much here on this route, and we are loving every minute of it, even though we're tired, and we can't wait to sit down. All right, guys, check this out. We are in this booth in a field somewhere in Tennessee, and I found a holy grail item of mine, the U.S. Stamp Dispenser. And usually these are really large when I find them, and I have no room for them, but this is a nice little size one. I bargained the lady and got a really good deal on it. And look at this, it has a 2-digit zip code. Now, I've talked about zip codes, so all of you guys should know this is from probably 1948 when they used 2-digit zip codes in large cities. So think like LA and New York, like New York, because you're seeing on that stamp machine. So we know it's prior to 1963. And look what Ariana found.
So, you know, this embodies Katie because Katie's super smart. And then here's me, a random vintage Christmas circus tat. And that embodies me. I am crazy and not at all put together. And yeah, but I love it. Look at it.
Look at that, though. This is fantastic. Look at the lithography on this, guys. So we both found, like, our holy grail items and fun things we collect in this booth. So we are doing a happy dance, even though it is miserably hot, and we are sucking down lemonade to stay cool. This has been a really good field so far. Lots of advertising. Here is a fun spring display from an old hardware store. Now, it does have a zip code, so it's probably after 1963. I would guess maybe 70s or 80s. But at $100, that would make some really cool wall art. And I think that's a wonderful price. I mean, look at all the kind of neat stuff this booth has here. I cannot wait to show you some of the other advertising farther down, because there's just so much of it, and it is a lot of fun to take a look at. So we'll be right back with you when we get to those spots. Now, I don't see many of these in the wild. I do see picture discs, and I certainly see the kids records. You see quite a few of those, but these are actually Vogue picture discs, and I think these are fun. Now, the way picture discs work is basically they are a record that plays, but it's got a thin picture mounted between some cardboard, and then they've got the record wax over top so that it does play. But they don't sound that great. They're more for the decorative aesthetic of them. Some of the graphics are kind of fun. I don't see a ton of the Vogue ones. I believe there's another company, Children's Discs of America, or American something, that made kids picture discs. And American Record Guild, that's it. But these are neat. These are probably from the 40s to the early 50s. I believe they only produced so many of them, maybe like 70 or less titles in more than a year, I think. It's hot, so I can't remember everything, but I just think these are fun. The graphics on them are really lovely, and they're a great pickup if you can find them, because certain titles do go for some good money. Not all titles, but you got to be careful of some of the wear, some of the paper being exposed, because then it won't play and be as good. So that one's got some issues, so it's going to stay here. But they're really cool to see, because I never get to see them in the wild. Okay, so this is our second or third stop of the day. Now, the first stop was really good, and then we kind of struck out after that, but we happened upon this sale, and it actually looks quite interesting. Now, it's been raining, so you can see the punch bowl there is full of water, but all of these little treasures are out on this table to be discovered. Lots of glassware. I quite like this cracker glass little pitcher here. I don't know who made him, but he is just fun. And there's lots of little pieces like this on this table. I love vintage advertising, and these ashtrays are a whole lot of fun. I am still on the hunt for my uranium tire ashtray. I know I will find that at some point, but look at all of this glassware here. This was quite a surprise to find, and you never know what you're going to discover on the 127 yard sale. There's a few hard and fast places that you stop that are major vendor roads or major vendor places, but a lot of them are just kind of on the side of the road, and you got to just decide whether or not you want to stop. And that's what we did. We saw this table full of glass and pulled over, and I like this piece here with the ruffled edge. It's a whole lot of glass. Very pretty. And then we got some fan vases and lots of other things. Now this sale is all the way over here, and it continues to this side. There are lots more tents, and then you probably can't see it, but way over there across the street there are more sales. So we're going to take you along and show you some fun things, hopefully discover some neat treasures for you guys and some stuff for our own collections. Y'all, here it is. One of the things that I thought I might find on the yard sale. A whole pile of tire ashtrays. These were little advertising pieces, but this has the uranium insert, and it is for Goodyear tires. I mean, come on now. That is fantastic. They're a little dirty, but it's not something that's too hard for me to clean up. So I think I want to see how much this guy is. There are lots of vendors with advertising. I don't know if you can see all the way down there, but it is just chock-a-block full of fun stuff. There's another fire chief gasoline sign from probably the 40s. Just gorgeous stuff here. And look at all that rusty crusty. Ooh, I'm in heaven. Okay, I spot more advertising, and check out the Sinclair gasoline sign. Now, I am not 100% sure that this is an original, although it has wear in all the right spots, so I would guess that it is. And they priced it at $800, which is probably very reasonable for a sign like that. But what I'm mostly interested in is these oil cans. Love the mobile gasoline cans with the Pegasus. And don't see many Quaker State pieces where I am, but they're everywhere up here. So I'd be interested to do some research on that and see what areas in the country those things were in. And look at this, Diesel Chief. Oh my gosh, how cool is that sign? What do they have it priced at? 1950s. Well, that's for the KO Thirst. Can't seem to find a price on this guy. He's Texaco, and he is really cool. Look at this kind of like starbursty ray effect coming from the diesel fuel pump. That is super cool. There is a price on it. They've got it at $350. That's probably pretty good for a sign like this, even though it's got some wear. It's just getting harder and harder to find these old signs. There's a lot of reproductions, so as I always say, you have to do your research, really study the piece and be careful. But all of these things are gorgeous. Look at this mobile gas sign. Ugh. The Pegasus, $500 isn't bad. It's got some wear, but that's a lovely, lovely piece. It's a really nice enameled piece, and you can tell it's original because it's got the sign manufacturer and then the date there, so 1951 I would assume for this piece here. And all of these thermometers are just gorgeous. I mean, I'm just in heaven in fields of advertising. It is so hard because I want all the advertising pieces, but of course that's nearly impossible with the price of advertising these days. But I'm finding a cool couple of treasures, including my ashtray. I got it for just $10 with the uranium insert. Great advertising piece for Goodyear tires. Oh, I'm so excited. There are quite a few oil cans and different advertising pieces here. And this is one of my favorites. It is for Car Silk, a luster restorer cleaner. And look at the starbursts. Oh my word, you guys. I might be in advertising heaven. I've said that about 100 times, but you're going to have to pull me out of this field. I mean, honestly, it's just heaven. And then you've got these beautiful pieces here. Now, this can does not have the seam on the side. That's that big wide metal stripe that you see. So this one's probably a tad newer than some of these other ones. But look at the graphics on all these and the fonts. Oh, you can't beat it with a stick. It's fab. There's quite a bit of a shadow here, guys, but I wanted to show you this advertising booth because there's quite a few of door pushes. And I love these old door pushes. Look at the bunny red door push. These are all original, and at $52, actually no, $525. That's not terrible. I was going to say even better at $52 because I clearly misread the sign due to the glare. But look at the 7-Ups and all of these breads. I've never seen so many bread push signs in my life. Now, these would have been on doors, and then you would have pushed into the store and it would have advertised the product. I quite like these, but I really like the Coca-Cola ones. We've got some thermometers here. This is nice for mail pouch tobacco. Nice big large one. It's hard to tell with some of these if you're getting an original, so you want to really take a close look at the signs. Sometimes you can just tell because they have wear in all the right places. That's a pretty cool sign. I love the colors in it. And then look at this Coca-Cola piece here. Now, this appears that it could be a real piece, but you never know. You want to look for small details on the sign to see if it's got any markings from the sign company and some dates or some numbers. Usually that's a good indicator of whether or not the sign's original. I don't see it on that piece, so I'm not sure. Thinking maybe that's a little too new. Got some Texaco pieces here. Lots of cans and Coke crates. Love those early yellow crates. And then look at this, Gordon's fresh potato chips. I mean, this is a field of pure heaven. Now, some of these signs are reproductions, and the reproductions can get some pretty good money just due to the fact that they're still porcelain over enamel, enamel porcelain signs, so they're good. They do cost money to produce. This is an original Bell telephone sign. That is not a bad price at $2.75. Probably a double sign as well. So there's some neat things. I just bought that sign from a guy for 20 bucks. So that was a really good deal. Of course, that one's in much better shape. Love the little Texaco. I think some of these egg signs and so forth are definitely more modern. Mayfield ice cream. Nice double flange sign there. And then these Sherwin-Williams signs. These are a reproduction. Usually these will have the maker's mark on the bottom. This one does not. So I do not believe that this is a real original sign, because a lot of these are quite expensive if you can find an original. But lots of neat advertising here. I do want to point these out. As someone that collects Coca-Cola trays, these are in pretty rough shape. And $45 for the menu grill tray in that condition, just in my opinion, isn't worth it. So if you're new to collecting trays, just don't get duped by paying full price for these two trays, because they are common and these are in much rougher shape. But there's some cool things here, so definitely need to look around. Tobacco tags. Tobacco tags, look at these. I don't see any of these in the wild ever, and mostly people don't know what they are. These were little tags that were put into the top of cut plug tobacco so that the tobacco brands could be sure that their customers were getting exactly what they wanted and not their tobacco mixed with cheap tobacco that the general stores would do to save money or cut costs. So these are pretty cool. Now this one features some dominoes or dice. I have never seen the dice before, so this one I might have to get. There's quite a few others in here that are just gorgeous. Look at all of this advertising here for the tobacco. There's an early velvet tin. You can tell the big difference in the velvet tins. The early ones have sort of that smoke design, and the ones that are a little bit older, I mean newer, just have that straight kind of plain boring font. So you want to look for that tin because that's the earlier velvet. And then there's an Edgeworth pocket tin. Don't see these too often. See a lot of the other Edgeworths. They've got it for $14. Honestly, that's a pretty good deal. I might have to pick that up as well. And then I want to show you this one other tin. This is for Climax tobacco. And this is what the cut plug would have come in. The whole cut plug would have been in this deal. And then they would have put the little round, different Climax tobacco tags right on top on each little segment. So you can kind of see that here. It's a little faded, but they would have put that every section, and then it opens up. So very neat. Enjoying all of the advertising here in this booth. Lots of fun things. Well, shoot. The rain has rained out our yard sailing adventures, but we are going to have fun, and the journey for the treasure hunt must continue. So we have found a wonderful antique mall well, I say wonderful, we don't know yet. We're hoping it's good. In Crossville, Tennessee. Ariana, what is this called?
Village Antique Mall.
Village Antique Mall. Okay, so we're at Village Antique Mall, and as you can see, I mean, it is downpouring outside, and this is a lot of rain even for this Florida girl, but we're gonna hang out here, have a little snack, and then head inside and see what cool stuff we can get. So stay tuned, folks. Well, this mall seems to be promising. Lots of cool Coca-Cola advertising here in this booth. Now, there's quite a few reproductions and more modern pieces. However, check out this right here. This is an old Coca-Cola store display. I think it is fantastic. Look at this, take some home today. And it is from the 40s. And look at this, $615. That really is not a bad price for the store display in wonderful condition. And then look here. Here is a bunch of Coca-Cola stuff, and hidden beneath is the Ice Skater Girl tray. And she is pretty cool because she's the only tray that has the little emblems of the lady drinking Coke on the side. I'm going to try to focus in on that so you can see it a little bit better there. Yeah, see, there's those emblems, but she's in a little bit of a harder shape, more rough, so I don't think I'll be getting her today. And then here is this lady. Now she is a tip tray, but they've only got $15 on her, and that's a good price for a reproduction, but that is not an original Betty Girl tip tray. I can just tell by the colors and the graphics on her. And then look at all of these Coke crates. Now there are some real good ones in here. Got an old Coca-Cola cooler. I'd love to find one of those airline coolers. If you know, you know. And then you've got this beautiful cooler here with the handle on the top. Does appear to be original. And look at all these old crates. So this is a pretty cool cooler right here. Little bit rougher shape, but just gorgeous. Some more reproduction Coke trays. This one is original. They've got 45 on it. Not a bad price, from the 60s. Quite a cool tray. I do have this one, so it's neat, and $45 is a good price for a collector, but it's not my favorite of all the trays, that's for sure. See, there's another one. Now I do want to point out here that there's several of these trays underneath in this booth. This one's a little bit rougher, so they've got that priced at $18, and that's a pretty good starter price for a collector. This girl has quite a bit of sun damage, the Menu Girl, and let's see what they're asking for her. $5, and that is a very fair price for the fading on her. And then this girl, she is rough. She's definitely got some issues here. This is the girl with the wind in her hair. They're asking $9. Again, very fair price because this is a very easy to find and common tray. Now, let me show you some other cool things in this booth that I quite like. You gotta look up sometimes in booths because you might miss some cool things. And look at all of these menu boards. Now, Dr. Pepper you don't see a lot of, and that is a Dr. Pepper menu board. How cool is that? I do believe it's original because it's got wear in all the right places. Got some Crown Cola stuff. Team is something that I'm seeing a lot of in this area with the lemon, and I don't know a lot about it. So it's an old soda, but it's pretty cool. Now that's in rough condition, but if you like the rusty crusty stuff, that's a nice piece. $165 though for the condition of that. Seems a little high, but I don't know how hard that is to find. So, you know, that goes into factoring prices as well on some of this old advertising. So sometimes the harder to find pieces, even in worse condition, can command some pretty high dollars. But these are neat, and I'm liking this little display of all advertising and fun Coke stuff. Okay guys, so This booth is one of those booths that you really got to sit and go through things, and it's worth it because there's a lot of antique ephemera and books here. The other valuable thing in this booth are these old collector's books. Now, there is a wealth of knowledge in these books, and I always say some of the best ways to learn things is to look in your research books, because you're going to see things that you're not going to be able to see anywhere else from collectors that have been collecting a long time and curating things and researching and adding information. So typically in booths like this, you can get research books for just a couple of bucks, and they're great additions to your library as an antique vintage collector and dealer. I just love these. There's things that you just can't Google or find online, and they're going to be in these books. So I am picking up glass animals, I'm picking up TV lamps, I'm picking up perfume bottles, and I'm also going to pick up the head vases book, which is pretty tough to find. So this is a good little start to my book collection, and you can never have too many research books. They're just so fantastic. Well, we have made it to our next field. It's about to pour down rain, so Ariana and I are glad that we're under some tents. Now, I wanted to show you these because I love these old printer's blocks. This gentleman has a lot of them. In fact, he's got so many smalls. I am just having a ball picking through all of these little things that he's got to offer here in this booth. And one of my favorite finds so far, and I'm not sure how much they are these beautiful labels. I love these old crate labels and can labels. And look at this butterfly brand, just gorgeous. And look at the lightning bolts on this electric garden spinach. Oh my goodness, is that not just incredible? So these are definitely running contender for the ephemera challenge that we are doing today. But I don't know, we'll see if these make it in, or I might pick those beautiful ink bottle pieces that I got earlier that were the catalogs for Carter's ink. But these are pretty good, so these might make it in if I can get them at a reasonable price. Oh my goodness, we just got in from a downpour. It is pouring down rain like crazy outside. We are headed to an antique mall, and we're going to try to dry off a little bit. I am soaked. I feel like a drowned rat. But of course, you know, I didn't care about myself getting wet. I cared about that sack back there on top of the cooler, because that was filled with ephemera, and I didn't want it to get ruined in the rain. So I'm glad it made it safely to the car, thanks to an umbrella and some running back to the car in the muddy fields. So I am dirty and wet, but I am loving every minute of it, having a good time, and can't wait to see what we find next. This whole store is 30% off. So this is so cute. It's a little Kewpie plate. That is from 1973, and I don't normally pick up the collector's plates. But with Kewpies, that might be something kind of fun. Now, I'm also trying on hats. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute, because, well, the hat that I picked out for this trip is not exactly working out. Okay, guys, so here's the hat selection. Now, here's the deal. I got a hat for this trip that would be nice and cool for the outside, and it was too floppy. It just kept bugging me. So I went to Tractor Supply, the only place I could find a decent hat, and picked up this hat because I needed something sturdy to attach the GoPro to. So I ended up with this. Not really my style, not my thing. It's fairly cool and comfortable, but I'm much more suited in a fedora. So Ariana and I happened upon this little store, and we found hats. So I'm trying on hats, and this is the one that I think will be good for the fields when it's rainy and just kind of mucky and we're trying to keep the sun off of us. But this one she picked out, and I love the color of this. I think it will go with everything. It is just fabulous. So since they're 30% off, I'm going to get both of them. But you guys vote in the comments down below and let me know what your favorite hat is that I've tried on today. Oh my goodness, look who we just found. It's Kelly Michelle on the yard sale route. So much fun. She's with Pam every Saturday night on her sales, and we just love her. What have you been finding?
We found a few things. We're just here in Dunlap, so we haven't really ventured out to any other areas, but we found some treasures up the road. I think that one was called Hendrick Farms area. And let's see, we found some old cookbooks, very, very, very old cookbooks. I found vintage Tupperware, of course.
Yes, that's your specialty.
Lots of vintage jewelry. We found a lot of brooches, a lot of vintage brooches. Sarah Coventry, and what's the other one that y'all like?
Trifari, Weiss.
Yes, yes. Is it Trifari?
Trifari, yep.
Yes. I couldn't read it. Mark had to read it for me.
Well, sounds like some good finds.
Yep.
All right, folks, we'll be back with you when we find anything else really cool. All right, so look what I found, a beautiful butterfly brooch. I love the prong sets on this with the Aurora Borealis, and those red marquee stones are kind of unusual. You see a lot of pinks and butterflies, so I really quite like this. And then look at this piece. This is one of those celluloid advertising mirrors. It is gorgeous and really nice shape for Aetna Insurance. I've never seen that one before. I don't really collect the insurance ones. I much more prefer the ones that relate to tools and hardware, so I think I'm going to leave that guy here. And then look how adorable this little penguin is. I think he would be great in a little assemblage or something. So I might have to ask how much he is, because he's just kind of fun. And lots of treasures. I mean, this is a real digger type of booth, and I like that because you never know what you're going to discover. So there's just all kinds of little things all over the table here, and you get to dig and find cool stuff. I quite like this. The graphics on this are lovely. Jasmine soaps. Pretty sure that's soaps and makeup. And then check out the lithography on this tin. Now, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I think it's biscuits or biscottis. I don't believe it is a tobacco tin. But holy moly, the advertising on this is incredible. And I'm looking, and oh well, there might be some remnants there of a tax stamp. So we'll see what this is. I think this is some sort of a biscuit tin. But the lithography, guys, is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just incredible. And even though it's got wear, I think this has a lot of potential. So I'm going to check this out on price as well and see what it is. But look at all of these little tiny things. Ugh, this just makes my heart happy. Right? Going through all of the little treasures. I think Ariana probably already saw this, but I have to show it to her. She's got some bodybuilder arms. Look at her.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, geez, Katie.
No.
I don't even work out. That was rude.
Look at her. She is like ripped.
She looks great.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you weren't talking about me.
No. And look at this.
I also just found
All kinds of little things.
But we're gonna ask. I like that too.
Lovely,
That's the
lovely.
thing. You don't know how much anything is. It could be
Yeah.
quarter, it could be.
Look at all of these advertising rulers. There's a lot of these on the yard sale. Just neat stuff. I love all these little buttons over here, the brass buttons. They are gorgeous. Well, guys, it has been a fun day, but a hot day. We've gotten rained on, but we have carried on and found some good stuff. Hey, Ariana. She's been inside finding treasures. And look at this little guy. He's fun. So we're going to sign off for today, and we're going to continue our journey tomorrow. But it has been so much fun meeting up with Kelly Michelle and hanging out with Ariana, catching Pam on the yard sale route as she travels along. It's just been a great day, even though we've been hot and wet. But we have made it, and we have found some cool stuff, and I can't wait to share all of that with you soon. So, of course, before my next video, I hope that you'll be following me over on Instagram at vintage_and_vinyl. And as always, folks, I hope you will stay in, stay safe, and thanks YouTube. Bye-bye now.